Alright, here we go. I'm Blacked Out Reviews, and this is my review of Descendants Rise of Red. I am not joking here, I'm being dead serious. I just watched this movie, and I'm I'm trying to get this video out as fast as possible, because I literally just found out, right now, that, this week, both The Boys Season 4 and Star Wars Acolyte, their seasons end this week, and I want to get those videos out and, start working on those, right now, because as much as I do care about Descendants, I mean, hell, it took, 2 weeks on that, on my biggest video of all time, so, I do care about this, but, I just want to get this out, because with what's going on with Star Wars and Acolyte and all that stuff, I just need to talk about those. And I think I'm also watching Twisters, and I want to review that. So I'm just kind of swamped here with all my stuff. So I'm just going to have to edit this and just, oh my gosh. Please comment, like, and subscribe or something, man. I am pushing myself here. Alright, so here we go. Descendants, Rise of Red. The whole reason why I made that big-ass video in the first place. Is it good? Is it bad? So, basically, I don't want to do a big-ass review, so I'll just get through the whole cliff notes. Alright, so basically the movie starts off with Uma. She's basically, ruler of Oridon right now. Because apparently, Evie, Mal, and the boys, they're just off on a cruise ship, restoring peace to the galaxy or whatever. I don't know. It's just a reason to write them out of the plot because they didn't want to be in the movie. The only returning characters in this movie are Uma and the fairy godmother. I'm glad to see y'all, but where's the rest of the crew at? You know what I mean? I don't know. So basically we start off with this movie with the fact that we're opening up the kingdom to everybody, and they already established that in the third movie, but now they're expanding worldwide with the Wonderland Kingdom or whatever. And I'm not that familiar with Alice in Wonderland. I think I watched that once, and I mean dude, that movie is actually a drug trip. That movie is actually some LSD shit, man. But basically the movie basically is about Red and about Chloe. Chloe is the daughter of Cinderella, and this is a really good point I made sure to put down in my notes, is that the woman who plays Cinderella actually played her in a previous Disney ABC movie. And I'm not gonna lie, the fact that she came back for this, not apparently Descendants in general, but back in as her role as Cinderella, I gotta admit that's pretty cool. The fact that they were able to do such Disney insider deep lore stuff like that, I gotta admit that is something I have respect for that. And I will say this, it's a nice touch. I like the fact that they have a reference to Cameron Boyce. It's very heartfelt, and it made me think damn, man, they actually care. They actually care about him and all that stuff. But getting back to the movie, basically what happens is that the evil Queen of Hearts, surprise, surprise, she turns out to be evil, and she takes over the kingdom, and I'm pretty sure that would have happened with all the other villains after 3, but I guess she's the only one. I guess they didn't prepare for it, so whatever. So, they fight or whatever, and they break the fairy godmother's wand, and I thought it was going to have a bigger impact, because for all 3 of the movies, that was the big MacGuffin, but it's just kind of brushed off as in who cares or whatever. And this was mentioned earlier in the movie, but apparently the Mad Hatter or his son or whatever, he made a time machine, and I'm just how did you make a time machine? This isn't the Avengers where you could just BS your way out of it, go oh guys, look, we have Pym particles or whatever. No, they legit just made a time machine. We have Back in Future up in here or something. What? So basically, what happens is that Red and Chloe, they team up as unlikely duo type style. Man, I've never seen that before in my life. Basically, they team up and they have to go travel back to the past. And this is I know I'm the only one that cares about lore here, but they ruined the canon lore to where they went to high school, all the villains and heroes, their parents went to school. And I thought the whole premise is that the parents made the school, but apparently Merlin from the Arthur Sorcerer's Stone had his own school before it became Oridon. So I'm what the what are we doing here, man? I mean, like, I get it, like, we need to have, like, the kids, like, interact or whatever, but I feel like, like I said, I'm the only one that cares about the lore here. I feel like this really just doesn't make sense. So, like, Merlin had his own school, and then apparently, I guess he just gave up or whatever, and they just made Oridon, like, on top of it. Like, I don't know, like, whatever, I guess. And, I mean, like, it's cool to see, like, you know, like, Red and Chloe interacting with their moms. I think it's pretty nice. The main problem I have with this movie is the fact of, like, we don't get any real time with anybody, because I noticed this, like, when I paused, like, I noticed, like, we were, like, basically done with the movie. Like, this movie is very, very short. There's, like, no time to breathe at all for this, because, like, the characters are cool, like, the set design's nice, and I will say this, I said this the whole time I was watching the movie, they actually have a budget. Like, would you believe it? Like, they actually have full-ass CGI and everything. And it's even more, like, I feel like this is more like a meta thing, because in the first, like, 3 movies, they didn't have, like, the budget for it, so they couldn't, like, use magic, like, on the regular. But in this movie, you know, in Merlin's academy or whatever, they're able to use magic all the time, and this made me go, like, wow, you're telling me you guys skimped out on magic for 3 whole movies, but finally decided for this one? Like, I know this is, like, a technical, like, Disney Plus, like, Disney Channel movie. I don't even know what this is considered at this point now. But it's just, like, I don't know, I just feel like they were holding back on us for the good ones, and now, like, we're here to where we're, like, you're kind of late to the party, you know what I mean? Okay, but, like, as I was saying with the whole runtime is, like, I feel like we're missing a whole, like, other half of this movie, because, like, when we, like, time travel and all that stuff, they talk about, like, how they're hyping up, like, Homecoming and all that stuff, and I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be like Back to the Future, where they have, like, the Under the Sea dance or whatever, but, like, they don't do that. They kind of, like, don't do that whole thing at all. Like, the whole plot for this movie is, like, them stealing, like, a magic cookbook to make her mom not evil, and I mean, like, I guess it lines up, like, for what they're trying to address, but I feel like if they added more for, like, fleshing out her as a character and, like, other people in this, I feel like it actually would have made it better. Because, like, with the whole Chloe and Red thing, like, bonding, it just feels kind of forced. It's not, like, done well. And then when we get to see, like, their parents of, like, how they were, I feel like Cinderella is, like, the only one to get, like, character. She goes, like, hey, man, I grew up, I had a hard knock life, man. I'm prison Mike, like, type of shit. I'm sorry. But, yeah, like, she's the only character that's really, like, fleshed out in this. I mean, like, Red and Chloe are kind of just, like, stock characters. I mean, like, they, like, quote unquote change, I guess, if you want to consider that, but, like, overall, like, there's nothing really done with this. And I guess I really want to mention this. Speaking of villains, we get to see, like, the young villains, like Captain Hook, Maleficent, Hades, and they all look so bad. Specifically Maleficent, like, dude, how could they massacre my boy like that? But then they also have, like, a deep cut lore reference villain from, like, the I actually looked this up. She's from the direct-to-DVD Little Mermaid 2, I think. I don't know, man. I really don't care. It's so bad because I see this movie, like, had potential, but, like, I just feel like either they just didn't, the writing team was not cooking, or they just had to cut stuff. But you know what, whatever, I don't really care. Basically, they end off the movie with time traveling back to their time, and now the Queen of Hearts is good. Which then, that also kind of puts into question with the whole time travel aspect of, like, if she's now, like, good ever since high school, then wouldn't that mean, like, maybe, like, Red would have, like, grown up in Oridon? But at that point, I was just kind of done with this movie and just had to, like, just write this down, put in my notes, and just put this out. Like, I'm sorry if this just seemed forced. It's just, like, I know, like, I just put so much work into my, like, Descendants video. I just feel like it's, like, necessary to do this. So I please encourage you. I don't want to force you, but please comment, like, and subscribe. Please, for the love of God. Like, I'm gonna push myself for that Star Wars Acolyte video. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just really stressing, like, for the Acolyte video, because, like, this is really just putting a strain on me, man. This is fucking killing me. Well, anywho, is this a true successor to the original Descendants trilogy? No. This is actually a bad movie because they actually put in the work and effort, but writing-wise, it is actually poo-poo, stinky doo-doo. and I give this like a 4 out of 10, man. This movie is not good. It had potential. I mean, like, if you're nostalgic for the Descendants movies like I am, then yeah, sure. I mean, if you didn't grow up with these movies, what the fuck are you doing here? I don't know. That's really about it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter, which is now called X. So yeah, that's really about it. I'm Blacked Out Reviews, and I reviewed it, so you don't have to. Pray to God, because my next video is going to be Star Wars acolyting. You don't want that.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Stop singing!